1969 and was the first trained girl technician to join the industry. Wow. Some of her features are Shak, Gehrai, Sitam, Rihai, Bhairavi, Kehdona and Tum. Apart from teaching, she has been a part of decision-making bodies in many film schools. She has served on many juries, including National Film Awards, and has been a strong voice for documentaries. She has won 5 national awards for her documentaries, Malika Sarabhai, A New Paradigm, and Behind the Glass Wall. She has been a landmark forum leader and has led transformational programs as a life coach. Welcome, welcome, ma'am. Another fan, which is a favorite of mine, apart from ma'am, is Dolly Thakur. Has won many hats, starting her career on radio. She became known as a newsreader on Bombay Doordarshan and simultaneously a writer of many personal columns and a reviewer of English and Hindi films and in theatre. In almost every English daily and periodical at that time, she has been a communications consultant for numerous corporate houses. Her two passions have been remained the stage and social work. She has been a part of the ensemble of actors of the hugely successful Vaginal Monologues, which has been running for 10 years.
20.
20? Oh my God, that's an error. Okay, no problem. I think you took it 10 years ago, right? And as between all this, she juggles her time with the NGOs. Among others, currently she is the national coordinator for Ladli Girl Child Campaign Media Award. Welcome, welcome, ma'am. Has produced 15 films, 3 TV shows, and acted in more than 60 films. He has mentored a lot of talent in these 4 decades and made them successful, including Shah Rukh Khan, Raveena Tandon, Aziz Mirza, Bhavan Irani, amongst others. After being the Dean of the School of Contemporary Media at Pearl Academy for the last 3 years, Mr. Vaswani is now distinguished faculty at the School of Modern Media at UPES. Mr. Vaswani guides and mentors students and young adults who choose to be a part of the industry. A big round of applause to all 3 of them. Unfortunately, we could not have Roy Vadia and Meghna Raipuri and Renuka Shale and all also. May I now request Aruna Raje Patil to speak a few words.
Event in the year, one really tries not to miss. I think I've hardly ever missed. I've been coming for a long, long time. And I came in as a jury member, and as Shweta said, became family, literally. And yeah, so it's been a long journey, 15 years for Kashish, so much done. And I think this was needed. See, and the medium of cinema, it's so critical because cinema and life are so closely related. After all, what are films about people and their lives? So, I think that's a very, very important way of, reaching out to people, disseminating information, connecting with people, and also, I think making a difference in the way people think and the way people react. So, you see, for a lot of people, this community has been marginalized for a long, long time. Everyone knows that. And we've been also sharing. Even today, there's so much discrimination in spite of, the world waking up to it. There's still a lot of countries who will not accept many things. But the point is, each one of us actually is taking that one little step to reach out, not just being inclusive, but going beyond and supporting, because everyone has a right, everyone has the freedom to live the way they want to live. So I think that's a very critical thing. And what happens in a festival like this, when people watch films, that they begin to connect with the characters, and you put away your judgment, and psychologically that's a very bright thing to do, because people who are already in that space, they are hesitant to come out, and people who are watching them keep their distance because they don't know how to deal with them. But when you watch a film, when you see these characters, especially literally, and you begin to connect, and I think it's very, very important what Sridhar started many years ago, and I really hats off, and you and Saga and your whole team for having brought this journey so far. And yes, there's a lot of work to do. It has to still go a lot of places, but that's one way to really connect to people. You know, the audiovisual medium of cinema is so powerful that one just needs to keep talking about it, making films, watching films. I think that's critical. And thank you so much, and thank you for having me here also. Thank you. Thanks.
Grandparents and parents, they will all know who I am. And I still get people crossing the street and saying, aren't you Dolly Thakur? We were brought up on your news. All the old, bald men particularly. And I can't tell you how much I loved that attention. And I love the attention that I get still from all the young and the old. One story that I will tell you, connected with the LGBT or with the lesbian thing, when Deepa Mehta and Shabana Azmi and Nandita Das made that film Fire, I used to be a reviewer then, in those days, and this was at the New Empire. And it is the first time that I was picked up by the police and put into a police van and taken to the police station. And it's an experience I've never forgotten. And the funny thing is, Kiran, I was comparing a show at the CCI that evening for Pride India, and I had to be at Pride India for that. And I told the police inspectors there, I said, listen, I've got a show to do, but what are you taking me to the police station? They said, don't worry, madam, we will let you off immediately. I did go to the police station, and it's an experience that I've never forgotten, and I'm very proud of it, that I was able to make my mark in an area which few people have had that kind of experience. I don't know whether Sridhar remembers, but I think I was one of the first on the advisory committee, and I've been with them for more than 15 years, or just about 15 years.
You've been with the community for 35 years.
That's right. So it's, for me, it really is family. And I know, I've known each one of them. Many of them are no more, they're playing the harp upstairs, but, and very soon I'll be joining them too. But I love the fact that I've been a part of this community, part of this society, and that I know that I can pick up the phone and speak to quite a lot of them anytime that I want. Sridhar, thank you very much for making me a part of this family.
Sixth standard, and I went to the Eros cinema to see Arunaji's film Shuk. And it was around that time that I started doing theatre. I began to school with my then teacher, Bert Ramsey. And that's when I met Dolly for the first time. I was a child, and they know what they are. It's been more than 50 years. I have become completely old. I'm 63, and they're exactly what they were 50 years ago. Sonali sitting in front of me, she did the lead in my film 25 years ago. She's looking 25 years younger. I have become an old man, so I think, is it only the men who... I mean, what is it? My classmate in Cathedral, Roy Wardier, his mother must be 85 or 86 if she's a day, and she looks younger than I look now. So, I mean, Roy and me have continuously wondered about you, about Dolly, about Vijay Mehta, about his mother, Nurgis. So the first thing I realized is hats off to all you ladies. You guys are ageless. We are temporary. I have to thank Sridhar for inviting me here to be on the advisory board. It's been a difficult few years to me with health problems, but I am still the Dean of the School of Media at Pearl. We've set up an independent film production house from UK. So this year onwards, I'm going to be launching new, big, successful actors. And I'm going to be making big films. And I'm also going to be teaching kids. I think it is very important what Sridhar and Sagar are doing with the Kashish Film Festival. It is not just a film festival. It is not just about cinema. It is about an entire community, a community which started finding its voice 15 years ago. Sridhar started Kashish, has found a very strong voice, is roaring today, and will hopefully grow to larger and greater streams. In the future, I see Kashish having festivals all across the country. I see Kashish festivals abroad, in Asia, in Europe, in UK, even in remote places like Africa. I see Kashish not just as a cinema, a medium of cinema. I see it as a voice, a very strong voice. I must tell you that Sagar and Sridhar are very sweet and very mild outside. Inside they are made of steel. They've stood up to the most incredible odds possible, where other people, lesser people may have quailed, have fallen down. They've just risen on the strength of that and become stronger and stronger. I am here to support them. I am here to support Kashish. I am here to support every member of the gay community. And I think it's very important what I have said since I was in school. You don't have to be gay to be gay. It's a very important statement. I am very proud of every single one of you who are here today. I make new friends every day. And thank you for allowing me to be part of this advisory board. Thank you for making me part of all of you. Thank you for giving me lifelong friends. Thank you, Kashish.
Thank you so much, Vivek. We will have a few questions from the press.
Films were made as statements about being gay. They were not really films. They were not well made, maybe they had very low budgets. They were brave films. But as the community has grown, as cinema has grown, today LGBTQAI films are stronger, technically far better. They have far bigger budgets. They have a far bigger audience than just gay people around the world. They have become an incredible part of mainstream cinema. Being gay now is not really an exception. You're not necessarily bold if you merely make a gay film or just merely make a statement, hey, I'm gay because okay, yeah, we've been hearing that for 15 years. Films have become more sensitive. They've become more script-driven. They've become harder. They're not just making statements. They're actually making points which mainstream audiences, non-gay audiences are actually seeing, applauding and appreciating.
I would only like to add, very honest and very confident.
Very honest and very confident, absolutely.
Yes, it's like also going beyond the issue, like getting into really characters and their expression and what they are dealing with, not like just a kind of a framework in which you're putting a story. And also, we get to hear now, every OTT bouquet needs at least a few or one or two, LGBTQ films. They tell us, as filmmakers, they tell us, look, we need something. And can you come up with something? Actually, every platform now wants to have at least one or two or more films.
Oh, we have another question? Yeah, please.
The issue on the dining table, and then there was Ayushmann Khurrana doing films like Sugar Mohammed Jacksata. So going forward, how these films can become commercially viable on the global scale, vis-a-vis the OTT platform and the evolution of the scene.
At first, I think, I may be wrong here, LGBTQ films were not being made to make money or to make profit. They were being made as exposure to a community where I think the films were telling audiences, hey, see, this is the community, this is what the gay community is, this is what you should see. What Kashish has done very, very, very importantly is, as time has evolved, as cinema has evolved, as filmmakers have evolved, as gay cinema has evolved, it has given it a very valuable platform. I think it is at forums like Kashish where people, distributors, funders, financiers, heads of platforms, OTT platforms, TV channels are coming, watching and say, hey, I could pick that film up. Or hey, if this is the kind of cinema that is available, I could possibly fund the next film. So as other film festivals have evolved, like Toronto, like Cannes, where it's not just about films or about art, gradually there has evolved a market section, a section where funders come to fund films, where people come with scripts to get funding, where people come to buy films, where people come to sell films. At some point in its evolution, Kashish is also going to become a very, very important marketplace, an important place of commerce, a very, very important place where funders, distributors, exhibitors, heads of platforms are going to interact with the gay community of filmmakers, actors, those who have scripts, those who are looking for funding, and there will be matches which hopefully will be made in heaven. But I think it's a continuous process of evolution. Yes, Dolly and Aruna were completely right. Nowadays, if you look at any OTT show, there is always a gay character. In fact, it's almost mandatory, for some reason or the other. Some are very sensitively done, some are not so sensitively done, but it's become a part of mainstream. And when something becomes a part of mainstream, there will always be commerce. When something becomes part of mainstream, there will only not just be audiences, but there will be people who are willing to navigate the process of making money, but making it from filmmakers who make films like these. I think it's a very important thing to have a festival that exclusively showcases gay films, not just gay filmmakers or gay themes, but people who are non-gay who are also making gay films, or people who are gay who are making. It's a process of evolution of cinema. I think at some point, as I said, there will be a marketplace at Kashish, there will be commerce happening, there will be people who will maybe through Kashish want to fund feature films, not because they are making a statement, but because they will be profitable, because there will be great cinema, because there will be great stories, and because the whole world will want to see those stories and will want to make this kind of cinema profitable. So not only will Kashish set up a platform for commerce, I think Kashish will also be able to, in due course, work with financiers, people with money, who would like to use their money to support a certain kind of cinema. So that's the way I see it going, and it's still very important for us to be able to do things like that. Thank you.
Is a Mumbai-based film director and a producer with Kindling Pictures. She started her career working on films such as Lagan and Monsoon Wedding, and went on to produce Peeply Life, Delhi Belly, Dangal, and Secret Superstar, among others. Her first feature as director was Dhobi Ghat, Mumbai Diaries, which was produced by Amir Khan Productions. It premiered at the Toronto International Film Festival in 2010 and had a worldwide theatrical release in 2011. Lapata Ladies, Lost Ladies is the second feature. She is also a co-founder of Pani Foundation, a non-profit company that is working towards water security and sustainable and profitable agriculture in Maharashtra. Wow. Next, I would like to call upon Sonali Kulkarni. Is an award-winning actor, Namaskar, who has been working for over 2 decades in various languages such as Hindi, English, Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati, Marathi, and Italian films. She has bagged many national, regional, and international awards for her strong portrayals. Her filmography includes celebrated films like Mission Kashmir, Dil Chahta Hai, Taxi, 9-2-11, The Good Road, etc., which is a compilation of her articles in the popular newspaper Indian Express Lok Satta. A big round of applause. We also have a jury member, which is Barun Sopti, who could not make it for some reason. May I now request each one of you to speak a few words?
Namaskar, good evening. I am so happy to be here today. With Sridhar, I was in conversation for many years, and I always wanted to be a part of Kashish Film Festival, but somehow I could not earlier. But I'm happy this year I'm here with the family. I started my career, film career, with a non-gender character, and I was playing a tree. It was a film by Girish Karnad. It was called Cherubi. Trees don't have gender, nature doesn't have gender. Films have actually helped me grow. They have educated me about life, about society. My international journey started with a film called Daira, The Square Circle by Amol Palekar, where I played a boy with moustache. So I feel all the more connected with Kashish movement. This year, along with Kiran and Varun, I was one of the jury. I did not have any expectation or imagination about what kind of experience I was going to have, because I don't choose to be a judge quite a few times. I personally feel that I was on the other side of the river for the longest time. I keep getting nominated for something or the other. It feels nice, koi award dete hai, koi nahi dete hai, but it is nice the way they watch the films. But here, when I accepted this responsibility, and I can't tell you how last few weeks have been for me. The films were so mature. The films had powerful storyline, excellent cinematography, production, casting, costumes, writers, most importantly. I had not expected that. I was in a way ready to see something which is a little around average. But the films definitely surprised me. Every film had a say. Every film was in a way courageous. Bold is a very cliche word, but I feel that there was courage. I really like the Indian films. I really like the way Indian writers, filmmakers and actors are opening up to expressing themselves. I'm talking about the film, but I also need to talk about the way Sridhar, Sagar, Obro and the entire Kashish team operates this festival. I'm highly touched to see their discipline, their passion, the way they are organized and punctual. Hats off to them. They are not at all judgmental or biased. When we were judging, Kiran will also share with you all that not a single time they tried to tell us that please consider this, they are friends. They might have many friends in the films that are being presented. But not a single time we were overshadowed by their opinion. In fact, Sridhar chose not to speak at all while we were discussing the results, post-screening. Not results, but we were sharing our opinion. It was so much fun to actually chat with Kiran with authority. Gossiping एक बात होती है कि वो फिल्म देखी क्या, but here we had a certain amount of right to discuss the films, which felt really nice, and I'm hoping that we are here for Kashish's 15th year and we will keep celebrating each year together. This rainbow has touched me a little bit, and I hope that we are all under that beautiful rainbow and we are all together. Thank you so much.
Difficult act to follow always, Sonali Kulkarni. Like Sonali, actually, I've also been in touch with Sridhar for many years. He's been asking if I would be part of the jury, and honestly, it's always been a bad timing for me. And this year, fresh off the back of having made a film and feeling very free, I said yes, and we jumped right in, and I'm so glad I did. I've always felt very much an ally of this community. It's something that I've always felt very passionate about, the rights of the queer community, and especially when it comes to cinema, exploring so many issues, so many ideas of identity and gender and inclusion, expression, and just culturally to be able to see these filmmakers from all over the world explore queerness in their own communities, very, very layered, unusual stories in different forms. Actually, formally, lots of people have taken, very interesting routes and sort of been quite experimental. So actually, we saw a wide range of work, especially in the shorts category. We had almost 20 shorts to judge. and there was like, it was actually wonderful. It really felt like we were, you know, it's interesting how also around the world you see how so many similar experiences are being had by people from the queer community. You feel how much actually as humanity we are connected. It doesn't really matter whether we are queer, not queer, from what part of the world we are, and how actually being human and having, you know, feelings, we respond to so much of the same kind of emotion, you know, situations. So it was actually very moving. A lot of the films really got me, and some of them really moved me to tears, and it's a wonderful selection of films, and I highly recommend that everybody go out and support the festival by watching. I think we just become, you know, it's a much richer sort of understanding that we get of people from the queer community, and like he said, now by making it, including all of us, by calling it the Kashish Pride Film Festival, it is our duty and our right to be part of this festival, whether we are queer or not. So thank you, Sridhar and team. I've had a lovely time being on the jury, and I can't wait for Mumbai and now hopefully the rest of the country to watch these films, and more power to all of you. I hope this festival is a huge success. Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran and Sonali. Maybe we can have maybe one question.
This festival, what have you observed in terms of emotions, how the community perhaps you did not know before? And having seen the work, your palette has changed both as an artist, as a human being, has it ever happened?
Speaking for myself, like I said, actually what really impressed me, what the impression or strong impression that I got was that we feel that in India things are very, very different, and you know, the situation in India is a particular way, the rest of the world people don't have similar problems. But seeing films from everywhere, even so-called first world countries, we've seen films about the older gay community, older queer community, as Sagar was telling us. We've seen a big range, and genuinely, again, to repeat what I said earlier, what I really took away was how similar actually experiences that queer people have are around the world, and how you know, in many countries we are much slower to accept the fact, culturally, because of religion, because of so many reasons, accept queer people for who they are. So, I mean, that's the impression I really got. I'm sorry, the second part of your question, I don't remember.
Has that changed as a human being, as a maker, as a filmmaker, as a creative soul?
Watching these films, I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but I have always felt very much a part of the queer community from very early on. So I've been acutely sensitive to this experience for a long time, and and because of that, I don't feel I've necessarily changed, but it gave me a lot of insight into, you know, what people face in different parts of the world. And really, we had films made